My goal is to be neutral, not play a role one way or the other, or even appear to be playing a role, so I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Then your apology is just a piece of paper, isn't it, Mark? X, formerly Twitter, introduced their AI image generator, Grok 2, with few rules to combat its misuse. Oh my gosh, you can make offensive images? You're a tech bro, you land in Paris, you're gone. Oh, somebody posted something illegal on your app that was a racist. You committed a racist. You're going to jail. Welcome to England. Mark Zuckerberg looks like he's flipped on the Democrats. We have some questions about this. Not going to be real happy with this newfound honesty unless we get a $400 million check, same amount that he donated to Democrats back in 2020 to get out the vote. And $100 million of that came in October because they needed that money. So you can see that the Judiciary GOP House Committee has said that Zuckerberg has now come out and admitted 3 things to them since they sent him a nastygram. Says that Zuckerberg says the Biden-Harris administration pressured Facebook to censor Americans, which we knew from their emails. Facebook actually censored Americans, which is our free speech. So the government acting through Facebook. Facebook became an agent of the government. It's not, well, my private company. Can't say that, no, because Harris was using Facebook as an extension. They censored us, violated our constitutional rights. That's illegal. Facebook also then throttled the Hunter Biden laptop story, rigging the election. So they call it a big win for free speech. Maybe, I guess. They write August 26 from Meta, the new Facebook name, to the Honorable Jim Jordan, U.S. House of Representatives. They say, all right, dear Chairman Jordan, coming from Mark Zuckerberg, electronically signed. He says, dear Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Now, further to our cooperation with your investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I've taken away from this process. All right, here we go. It says there's a lot of talk right now about how the U.S. government interacts with companies like Meta, and I want to be clear about our position. Zuckerberg says, our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns around public discourse and public safety. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our team for months to censor certain COVID content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. And we remember that. That was Rob Flaherty. Man, he's a White House like diva. He's like, don't you know who I am? Effing you, effing son of a effing. We're like, whoa, bro, relax. They don't work for you. Ultimately, it was our decision, says Mark, whether or not to take the content down, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. Now, I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it, I'm sure. Now, I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. In a separate situation, the rigged FBI, my words, warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to 2020. So the FBI was covering up for Hunter. So was the DOJ. We already know this. They were warning his lawyers about warrants for storage facilities. That fall, we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations that fall, right before the election, involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family. We sent that story to fact checkers for review and then temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. No. And in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. No, it was real, and the CIA was involved in making sure that everybody bought the fake narrative. Now, we've changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in US while waiting for fact checkers. Now, apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support election infrastructure. The idea here was to make sure local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they need to help people vote safely during a global pandemic. Now, I made these contributions through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analyses I've seen showing otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. My goal is to be neutral, not play a role one way or the other, or even appear to be playing a role, so I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. then your apology is just a piece of paper, isn't it, Mark? You're not going to respond to them censoring another story, you say, I guess? Why don't you make another contribution in the favor of Republicans this time to get out the vote? And I don't buy this crap for a minute. All right, here was the press release back October 2020, okay? Almost 4 years ago, one election cycle ago. Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg commit another $100 million for safe and reliable voting to meet overwhelming demand. Additional funds build on their already $300 million commitment, and they're going to help local election jurisdictions, and this surpasses even their initial commitment. $100 million for safe and reliable voting. Since there's no public funds, since our government won't fund it, maybe we don't want to fund it because we don't want, all of this extra help for whatever reason. Help. Stay out of it. Saying they're going to donate $300 million by September 1st. To date, more than 2,100 local election jurisdictions have submitted applications to support this. They're all going to be involved, chasing ballots, helping people, whatever. The commitment also demonstrates a rejection of legal challenges. Now we're ensuring that every eligible citizen has the ability to vote this cycle. CTL is nonprofit, CTCL, the organization, nonpartisan, and we're committed to supporting democracy and to voting as a fundamental right. Okay, those are two liberal code words, obviously. Democracy means democratic institutions. They're the most non-democratic, undemocratic people you've ever met. They don't even have their candidates elected multiple times. They sue people to get them off the ballots. They prosecute their political opponents. So you see what this means. And voting is a fundamental right. For who? Citizens, maybe, but that's not what they're talking about. It's not a fundamental human right to go vote wherever you live. You don't show up to China and say, hi, I'm here. I like to vote for something now. It's a human right. No, it's not how it works. But that's what these people think. And so they're going to say that this was all very neutral, blah, blah, blah. Give me a break. All right, just go to their website, for crying out loud. Here, we're on the website right now. Here, let me show you. Here, let's see what the board of directors looks like here. All right. You can just, take a look at the board of directors, come to your conclusions about their political ideologies. I'm just going to scroll. I'm not even going to say anything. You can tell this is on the website of CTCL. These people got $400 million from Mark Zuckerberg, and you can just be the judge of their political ideologies. All right. That's what they're funding. Mark Zuckerberg, founder. $400 million. I don't know. MAGA extremists? I don't think so. All right. So I think we have an understanding of how that money was used. And here's another one from Glenn Greenwald. He says, Mark Zuckerberg made another extraordinary confession. Said the U.S. security state cajoled Facebook to suppress reporting on Joe Biden by lying that documents on Hunter's laptop was Russian disinformation. This is the Facebook executive who was a career DNC operative who announced the censorship. This is Andy Stone from Meta, worked as the House Majority PAC, worked for Senator Boxer, worked for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Rep. McKierney. He said back in 2020, October 14th, okay, the October surprise, is Hunter's a crackhead, and the Biden family is a corrupt criminal organization that has been grifting off America for 40 years. Everyone covered it up. Said it was Russian disinformation, and then got us into war with Russia as soon as they won, in a proxy war with Ukraine. Isn't that convenient? Normally you'd say, that's insane. How would you blame another nuclear power for interfering in your election with making up a fake dossier with all this crack hooker stuff everywhere? That's lunacy. It's like an act of war if Russia was doing that. They didn't do it, but they blamed Russia for it because they wanted to go to war with them anyways, right? It's just useful. Russia, let's blame Russia. But they didn't do anything wrong. Who cares? We're going to take them out anyway, so just blame them. And every Democrat was like, yeah. Andy Stone censored it. Now Mark Zuckerberg hops on a wakeboard, writes a letter, even though he dropped $500 million for Democrats and their board, as we saw earlier. So Trump was responding to this. He said Zuckerberg admits that the White House pushed to suppress Hunter Biden's laptop story and much more. In other words, the 2020 presidential election was rigged. Fox News, New York Post, Laurel Lee, House Judiciary Committee, all reporting it. And the CIA was obviously behind this again. We've already confirmed this many times and covered it here at length. The CIA directly implicated in this laptop cover-up and operation. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met with Michael Morrell, former director, acting director of the CIA, to come up with the scheme before the debate. Morrell admitted in House interviews and in transcripts that he did it because he wanted Biden to beat Trump. Now you might say, Rob, he's an external ex-CIA person. Wrong. He was a private contractor on their private contractor payroll. He was getting paid by the CIA. There were other people who signed the letter that were working at CIA offices in the facility, and the entire stupid letter of those 51 morons went up the chain of command at the CIA, and it was approved by CIA publication specialists. All of it was approved by the CIA. All of it was fake. And they did it to steal an election. That's just one tiny sliver of the fraud. So Trump says, yeah, it was rigged. Obviously, that's true. Facebook was involved in it. FBI was involved in it. And CIA was involved in it. So you can see Congress is not going to let up this election cycle. If you think they're done, or if you think the CIA is done, or the FBI is done, or the DOJ is done, or Jocelyn Benson from Michigan is done, or Jenna Griswold is done, no. The cheaters are going to be out in full force because that's all they've got now. You can see that these cheaters from Congress, Shontel Brown, Nikema Williams, Dan Goldman, the Levi Strauss heir who can't even put his pants on right, Greg Lensman, Summer Lee, Eleanor Holmes, and Self Magaziner from Congress, all these Democrats are now coming after X. They sent this over to the FEC, Federal Election Commission. They say, hey, FEC, Federal Election Commission. They say, as members of Congress, Democrat whinies say we're committed to safety. And now we're writing to offer our support for this new rule about fraudulent misrepresentation. We're concerned about deepfakes of an election candidate as a fraudulent misrepresentation. So they want this US code. So if you make a deepfake, they can, I guess, charge you with the crime. Let's see where this goes. So you make a picture of Kamala Harris, who is standing with an AR-15 over all of her communist peasants working the fields that she has subjugated with her price controls. That's illegal, maybe. Let's see. You know, as you know, it says this portion of the US code prohibits a candidate for federal office or an employee or agent from fraudulently misrepresenting themselves, a committee or organization under their control. Now, this election cycle, we've seen candidates use artificial intelligence. Oh, they're mad at Trump in campaign ads to depict themselves or another candidate engaged in an action that did not happen, or saying something that depicted a candidate that they did not say. And they're upset with Grok. Oh, they say on August 14th, X, formerly Twitter, introduced their AI image generator, Grok 2, with few rules to combat its misuse. Oh my gosh, you can make offensive images? In fact, there are no policies that would allow the platform to restrict images of public figures, they say. Oh my gosh. Less than 24 hours after its debut, fake images of presidential candidates like Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and former President Obama appeared on X. Candidate Trump has even gone as far as promoting false endorsements from celebrities like Taylor Swift on his social media platforms. The proliferation of deepfakes has the potential to severely misinform voters, no worse than the Democratic Party is, causing confusion, dissemination of dangerous falsehoods. It's critical for our democracy, we're all gonna die, that this be promptly addressed, noting the degree to which Grok 2 has already been used to distribute fake content regarding 2024. Okay, Twitter Grok friends, think we know what to do. Shontel Brown, I wonder what Grok can do with her. I don't know, I'm just curious, I wonder. We respectfully request the commission expeditiously consider these recommendations and initiate the necessary emergency rulemaking process. We look forward to your response, working together to protect the integrity of our electoral system from the Democrats. All right. So these people better be careful, man. If they don't want, you know, this is the Streisand effect. If you say you don't want images of politicians around, the worst thing you can do is say, I don't want images of politicians around, you know? Doesn't work that way. Internet doesn't usually respond that way. I mean, we'll see what happens. Best of luck to them. So Elon under fire from Congress, and that's because he's boosting Trump. You can see he's rounding up a bunch of tech bros. They say there's a shocking bipartisan switch underway. In the stratosphere of tech titans, the industry known for its wokeness is betting big bucks on Republicans. Last week, Elon Musk gave the thumbs up to Trump. Now we're talking about Elon Musk for Commerce Secretary, or perhaps a newly created position of free speech czar. That'd be fun. Department of Government Efficiency or Government Eradication would be good. Doge, either way. Whether or not Musk joins, Trump himself said that he could consult him and it would be very, very good news. So Elon Musk aligning with Trump. We know what they do to people who do not comport to their government whims. In fact, this is what happened to CEO of Telegram named Pavel Durov. He has been arrested by the French, and get a load of these charges and the insanity of the French authorities. They are arresting this dude. So Europe's basically gone at this point. I mean, if England is arresting people for illegal online posts and France is arresting founders and CEOs of instant messaging platforms because some people might have done bad things on their instant messaging platform, it's over. What is even happening over there? Who knows? But Pavel Durov, as you can see, this is from the prosecutor of the Republic or dictatorship chip, let's say, says Pavel Durov, founder and CEO of the instant messaging platform called Telegram, was arrested at the airport on the outskirts of Paris, August 24th, taken into police custody at 8 p.m. This measure comes in the context of a judicial investigation opened on July 8th of this year, following another preliminary inquiry, which was a fight against cybercrime by Paris Public Prosecutor's Office. Now, the judicial investigation was opened against person unnamed, which is him, on the charges of this. Check this out. Complicity. He webmastered, he created an online platform in order to enable an illegal transaction in organized groups. It's a messaging app. You can create groups. People will do illegal things on it. Go after the people who do illegal things. He also, this guy, Pavel, the CEO, he refused to communicate at the request of competent authorities as they identify themselves. We're legitimate. We're the government. We say so. He didn't give them or communicate information that they need to complete interceptions, right? So you didn't basically gave you a warrant. You didn't give us the warrant. Complicity. Other people had bad images on the app and you just allowed it to happen, which every single app in the entire, go look at Instagram, or rather don't, right? But there are stories about that, about how prolific this stuff is everywhere. It's disgusting. So are they going to arrest Mark Zuckerberg too? Complicity. Distributing, offering, or making available bad images of minors in organized groups, right? Which again happens on every social media platform. Also, acquiring, transporting, offering, or selling narcotic substances. Same thing. It's just drugs. Offering, making tools, equipments, programs. So you see what's happening here? It's not like he did these things based on what we're reading. It's just he had an app. Organized fraud, and saying that he had a criminal association which could result in imprisonment. Laundering the proceeds. So he took the money of those illegal proceeds. Oh my gosh. He provided cryptology services to ensure confidentiality without a certified declaration. How dare you try to encrypt your stuff in France? He also provided a cryptology tool, not solely ensuring authentication or integrity monitoring without telling the government. And the same thing, another cryptology violation. So the custody period was extended until August 25th by an investigative magistrate, can last up to 96 hours. And you can see it's just wild. So France is gone. England is apparently also arresting people for free speech. CEOs under the scrutiny. You're a tech bro. You land in Paris. You're gone. Oh, somebody posted something illegal on your app that was a racist. You committed a racist. You're going to jail. Welcome to England. So not good. And Elon is continuing to fight on for free speech. Mark Zuckerberg making the switch. Donald Trump bringing them on board. We're going to be here to continue to cover it. Thank you for subscribing and joining as we do.